and I had to refilm this sketchbook flip through because I realized that my camera was in continuous focus mode, which, like, based on my hand being in, it kept, like, getting the sketchbook out of focus, which, not ideal. I figured people actually wanted to see what was in the sketchbook. So hopefully this is quick and not too rambly, but this was my first sketchbook of 2025. And I don't even know if it's going to focus now, but this is January through March of 2025. And the brand of sketchbook is Etchr. This is their I forget the format size. I can put it on the screen. It's not the smallest one, it's not the biggest one, it's kind of like in the middle, right? So, yeah, a good size. This is a watercolor sketchbook with hot press paper, and hot press paper is the one that's a bit smoother than a cold press paper, so I like that personally because I don't just use this for watercolors or gouache or, any of those water media, but I do like do sketching with pencil, with pen, with other materials. So sometimes with just drawing, it's nice to have that smoother paper. But again, that's a personal preference. So this sketchbook took me a little bit longer than I intended. I was hoping it was going to take me about a month or 2 months to finish, but it took about 3 months, which is not ideal, but it's quite alright. So the cover page, like the inside cover, is always a little bit intimidating for me, or like the first few pages anyway, so I try to like doodle on there, not being too serious. Like a lot of this was done after doing things like this, right? So just getting something down on paper. So I just covered this with acrylic markers. I think there was something under here that I didn't like, so I covered it with acrylic marker, and I wanted to like write a poem in here because I normally start all of my sketchbooks with some sort of a poem, whether it's written by me or maybe just a poem that I like. So I still might do that. And again, just my contact information. I was doing my little red stamp. I always wanted a red stamp, so I just decided a couple of years ago to get one. I think I need a refill for it too. And then I have it's essentially like my business card, but it's a sticker and it's got a QR code, which takes you like to all of the stuff where you could find me. Then this is one of those like awkward pages that doesn't like lie super flat, as you can see. So I just decided to do some material testing in here, which is kind of nice. I was really getting into watercolors a bit more in this sketchbook. It's always been one of those intimidating materials for me because it likes to do what it wants. And you really have to know how to work with watercolors and not to overwork them. And I tend to overwork a lot. So here I think I was testing color sheets, and they're called the Viviva color sheets that I found on Amazon. It's by a company from India, I think. It says made in India. And they're really, really vibrant. And they have these like they have different sets. So there's like a fall set, a spring set. There's another. They have the original set as well. A lot of them have kind of the same colors throughout, but maybe they drop in like a couple of extra colors in there, or replace certain colors for like fall set. Fall set might not have like too many greens, so you might have like more oranges and browns and things like that. So I do like that, and it's very nice and easy because it's a booklet. I think I'm gonna try to see if I could find it so I could show you, but it's a booklet, so you can kind of put it. If you have one of these pockets in the back of your sketchbook, like this one has a pocket, you can just put it in that pocket and it's pretty portable. I do love like mixing these colors and seeing what that ends up looking like. I did a lot of figure studies, or I tried to. One of my goals for this sketchbook and the next couple of sketchbooks is to do male figure studies because I've been traditionally doing female figure studies. So that's been kind of a comfort, but I wanted to get more comfortable with drawing male figure studies, just with the anatomy and the movement. Obviously, male figure is a little bit different, right? It's a bit more blocky, not as many curves. So it's interesting. These were timed as you can see, and I put how long it took for each of them. And for this particular one, I was using a YouTube page called New Masters Academy. But there's other websites, even YouTube channels, I think, that have this type of stuff. I think lineofaction.com is one website where you can go on there and you can actually pick, what gender do you want, if you want couples, if you want nude or clothed or whatever, and you can do like class setting, which gives you time. So a model would pose for 30 seconds, then a minute, then 2 minutes, then 5, all the way up to like 10, 20 minutes. So it helps with loosening up. Like if you know that you only have 30 seconds to draw, you're not going to spend a whole lot of time on detail, so it forces you to be a little bit more gestural and quick. I was pretty stiff with these, and that's kind of how it was most of the sketchbook, so it just helped me a little bit to try and loosen up. Then here I was doing some more material testing. I got a new fountain pen for, I think, for Christmas, and then I got some inks from, I think it's, the stickers from Goulet Pens. So I ended up trying to, this is the ink that I used for that pen. And the pen is this like lovely brown color. It's the Schaefer Coffee Edition. I don't know if anybody's into fountain pens, but yeah, so it's a very nice pen. So I wanted something that could match. So this one was perfect because it has brown undertones, but it's green. And it's by a Japanese. I don't know if it's by Sailor. The company is Sailor, and I don't know if that's a Japanese brand. Maybe I'd have to check. But the name of the ink is Shikiori Tokiwamatsu, and it's just like very lovely. Then here there was something underneath that I did not like, so I decided to again cover it with marker, and I wrote a poem that I found in a book. It's actually a book by Mahmoud Darwish, and I think he's a poet from Iran, and yeah, some very nice poems, so I decided to put this one in here, and you'll see that throughout the sketchbook too. There's little like quotes, notes, and poems. Did more figure studies, and then I decided to do some bird drawings, and this was mostly in color pencil, and then just like some wash in the back by watercolor. More material testing. I was testing here I can never pronounce the brand correctly, but it's the Kuretake brand. They have the Ganzai Tambi paints. This was the graphite version, so they're more of the granulating colors. And as you can see, and I don't know, hopefully that focus is okay, but they're more like dull colors, but there is color, they're just very kind of dulled down, and I do like them. And here's like a little winter scene, again, a poem, not a poem here, this was actually, I want to say, from a book by Albert Camus. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's an Algerian French philosopher and writer. I just finished a book this year by him called The Stranger, but this is from somewhere else, I believe. So I just like that, so I wrote it in here. Again, this is more of the same thing that I did here, just testing and swatching. Again, you'll see I do this a lot, cover pages that I don't like, and that's okay. You can do whatever, it's your sketchbook. This is just a little female figure study, and that's probably the only one in here. Again, here more poems. This was also by Mahmoud Darwish. And just more like watercolor stuff. This is acrylic marker, just little doodles. Same thing here, just exploring with materials, and that's, in my opinion, what a sketchbook should be. It's to get your ideas down, to even write notes, experiment with materials, do whatever you like. I always get a little bit, I don't know, like I'm always a little bit like surprised when I see people doing sketchbook flip throughs, and it's this like perfect sketchbook that is pretty much like finished art, which is fine. Some people like that. I just don't have the patience for that. So yeah, my sketchbook is definitely not finished art. Again, just different doodles. This was at the airport. I was actually going on a work trip to Miami. And I didn't get a whole lot of time to sketch down there because I was pretty much stuck in a hotel room in meetings for like 2 days. But I did get a little bit of time in the evening and then before I left. So most of these doodles and sketches were just like a view from my hotel room. And it just was like a little quick sketch of I think the first night we had a dinner. So I wore a nice green dress and I liked it, so I just kind of like doodled that. And it did rain like the day I was, the afternoon that I had free, it actually rained, sadly. Go figure. This was the hotel for that trip, and I think I did this when I came back. Just some gouache studies, a little doodle on my dog. I think I was watching YouTube videos, so I just kind of doodled along. This was definitely an off day. I can kind of tell by, I don't know, I think I just remembered that it was an off day. Just by this, like, trying to be, like, doing too much. So sometimes I just kind of, like, force myself to draw or paint or whatever, just to, you know, have that pencil mileage and to not get lazy with it, but it was definitely an off day. And again, this was by those granulating colors by Kuretake. Here's just like two random pages and sketches. I was working out, I was working on this little like mini comic or zine. I wanted to actually make it into a zine because it's not like super long of a story, and then I was trying to kind of like figure out what style I wanted to use, how the story is going to translate into drawings. So I was just working that out here. Here I was doing one of those random things where I just kind of like splash color down and see where it took me. Like this, for example, started with like a yellow like circle of watercolor and then just kind of went from there. So I actually like really like this page. And I might use kind of something like this stylistically for this story, but we'll see. Here, just again, more exploring with colors and doodles. I was again using those Kuretake colors here, and you're not supposed to blend them apparently, which I didn't know until after the fact, but you know, why not? If you like the effect, just go ahead and do it. So that was pretty much with those colors here. Not the granulating ones, but they're actual Ganzai Tambi paints. Again, doodling heads, male heads specifically, and heads without hair because I'm trying to get the proportions right and the anatomy right, and sometimes hair can hide that, right? Like you can kind of get lazy and put hair on and you can't really screw up hair too much. So I wanted to challenge myself by drawing bald heads. This was another off day, both of these pages. Yeah, like this is horrendous because everything just kind of blends in, and there was no sketch under here. This was just done directly in paint. And then here was just like force myself again to do some figure studies and just added in some watercolor wash. Another page or spread that I'm not too thrilled about because, like I mentioned in the beginning, I did start getting into watercolors a bit more in the sketchbook, but I tend to overwork stuff and it tends to be very messy. But I do like the fact that I was testing mixing here, like the colors. Here I had like a little painting idea, so I did that here. So do that. These are not original paintings by any means or original ideas. I think I found these on Pinterest. So I was just doing complementary colors in the background and then just working out like some doodles from there. This was kind of beginning of nicer weather outside, still not perfect, but it was a little bit easier to go outside and sketch. So this was not done outside, but just experimenting with some new Daniel Smith colors. And this was on March 8th, the International Women's Day. This was sketching outside. I don't love it. It's a little bit too busy, so I need to learn to not overwork stuff and, you know, pull back a little bit. As I wrote here, horribly messy, but it's okay. That's what sketchbooks are for. So yeah, and I do remember this was a really nice day, so it was just outside by this little creek out in the woods, just painting, and that was kind of relaxing and nice. This was the same thing, just a little bit more, not using watercolors. I tend to not overwork, but just like drawing trees and, you know, like rocks and bushes and things like that. This happened to be on March 10th, or Mario Day. I do like this page. Just it's a random spread of things. This was on the same day. I was watching a YouTube video. I think it was on astrology, because this is, I wrote here, Melanie Reinhardt. I don't know that she necessarily looks like this. Definitely not this. She looks more like the sketch. This was a bit, I think the likeness got away from me, but it's okay. I think it was, I'm trying to remember who the original YouTube creator was for this video. I think it was Heather Ensworth, and she posts a lot of astrology videos and kind of like the energy that's in the universe right now. But she was, I think it was an interview with Melanie Reinhardt, or it was like a woman's circle or something like that. So that's what it was, and I was just doodling along while listening. This was random stuff, just probably from Pinterest, and then adding backgrounds and things like that. But it was fun. The next one is spread, where I have some oil colors. So this was just a sketch of that other initial sketch in oil. I did gesso the page to seal it with just like regular canvas gesso. So that was that. And then this was a portrait of my mom when she had like pinkish purplish hair. This was from 2 years ago. I definitely did not do her justice. She's a beautiful woman, but I do like how it came out, because I didn't spend a long time on this, and I think it works, especially with the green in the background, the complementary color for the hair. And then I just put wax paper on both so the pages don't stick. Another very messy page, but again, just, I think this was kind of an off day. And again, I was listening to a YouTube video, again on astrology, because this is Pam Gregory. But sometimes that's what I do. Just if I'm listening or watching to TV or something like that, I will have my sketchbook out and start doodling and creating. Like this was just kind of like mixing colors together, but also trying to make it into some sort of a scene. So this is like the sea, and then there is some grass in the foreground, and then some angry clouds in the back there. So this was a messy page, especially this, but there was no sketch here. Again, this was probably, I forget the name of the actor in the movie, but this was from Pinterest. So was this, just kind of messing around with colors. Again, this is getting towards the end of the sketchbook. This is another one with like this like angry looking sky over the sea view. And to end it, I decided to do some more figure studies. Again, male figure studies. These were extremely quick, like all 30 seconds. And trying to get anything down in 30 seconds is really, really difficult. So, yeah, that was interesting. Again, same thing. Continuing on with figure studies and kind of ending it with figure studies. In the back of the sketchbook, like most of my sketchbooks, we have color swatching. And again, I got some Daniel Smith watercolors. That's these here, like they were full-size colors. And then I decided to order some dot cards to do some more testing. So that's what these are down here. It's actually a fantastic way to test color without committing to buying a full tube, because they're not too expensive and you get a crap ton of colors. But I do really love Daniel Smith. I don't know what it is about their colors. Like this amethyst genuine color has this like, I don't know if it'll show on here, but it's got like a sparkle on it. And they're just pretty. I just need to learn how to better use them. Again, more color swatching and more material testing. And that's pretty much it. That is the sketchbook tour in a nutshell. The Etchr sketchbooks come with this like white canvas cover, which is great if you want to paint on it, which is what I did this time. Just little doodles in watercolor, nothing serious. Same thing here. This was actually their emblem. I just kind of enhanced it or embellished it. But it's not necessarily always the best, like if you don't do that on your sketchbooks. Like the previous one I had was a, sorry, shook that. But the previous one I had of this sketchbook was like, it was like half the size, and I decided to leave the cover blank. But it's not great if you're taking this out like sketching with you, or like putting it in your purse or dropping it or something like that, because it's very sensitive and it can get dirty. So I would encourage just to be creative and like put stuff on it if you're buying it. The downside of this sketchbook and most of the Etchr sketchbooks, I do love them. The quality is fantastic, but you're gonna pay for that quality. They are expensive. Like this sketchbook is $30. Now, I did not buy this myself. This was a gift, so that's why I didn't feel so bad using it. Because when somebody gives you a gift, you should use it. So yeah, I don't know that I would recommend these if you're not like a professional or serious about watercolors or mixed media, but great quality, just super expensive. So that's pretty much the sketchbook tour. The next thing that I wanted to share is I am still deciding what is going to be my next sketchbook. This is kind of like my on-the-go plein air, take it with me, put it in a purse when I can, sketching set. Again, I'm still deciding, this is like a little clip with a magnet. I'm still deciding what sketchbook I want to use. I kind of miss my old moleskin like Plein sketchbooks. Again, like this is watercolors with marker, but this is not the best for, like, it's not a watercolor sketchbook, so it's not the best for that. And since, sorry, okay, hopefully that's better, and I cut that out. So since I'm getting into watercolors, I don't necessarily want to use a non-watercolor sketchbook, but at the same time I kind of miss it, and I do like these washes. It handles water okay. It's not the best. You will, like, if you try to like over mix and mix, you will get that like pilling of the page, which can be annoying. So again, this was just like some light doodles in the beginning, and I did do some like color swatching of the colors in the back. As you can see, I dedicated a page or pages to material testing, so I don't know. And I like that this is a smaller sketchbook. It fits like right into this little pocket. And then this can also be put on top of the sketchbook, so that's kind of nice. So if you have a larger sketchbook, you can just kind of like sling that over, but it has this pocket in the front too. And it doesn't open fully, it just like opens from the corner. So I have in here this little, it's actually like a sweatband, but I use it, it is black on purpose because I use it to clean my brush, my watercolor brush. So I just put that on so I can like have it handy. And I have, what do I have in here? So I have two of these Pentel brushes that are water brushes, like they have water in the container. One is a bit of a flat brush, smaller, and one is just a regular like tapered watercolor brush. As far as pens, I have again, I think this is by, I want to say this is also by Kuretake, but again, it's all in Japanese, so I can't tell. I'll try to see if, oh, this is Tombow. So this is Tombow. I don't recall if this is waterproof, but it's got like a lighter gray color on one side and a black on the other, so that's kind of nice for sketching. Like if you don't want to go straight black, there's like a lighter gray. These are just like a generic pigment liner. This is waterproof. This is a 05. And for those that don't know, 05 is kind of like that smaller tip, but not too small. So that, and then I have another Tombow. This is a water-based thing, so I don't think this is waterproof. But again, I just like these. They're more like a marker tip, but also very sharp. So I have that. I have some, and you see some over there in the back too, that I like to exchange sometimes and like pick certain colors, but I have some Luminance, Caran d'Ache, I think that's how you say it, color pencils. And I absolutely love these. They're very, very expensive, unfortunately. But I have a dark blue, like a, what is this one called? Phthalo blue, navy blue, a black, grass green, and a Plein. I think it's called Plein brown, but it's like a vermilion or like a reddish brown. So I have those with me. I don't have a yellow. I probably should put in there since it's a primary, but it's okay. I have a little pipette, and that is really like in case I don't have any running water, or if I just have like a water bottle, I can just go in with a pipette and it's easier to refill this. And it's just like a plastic one. I have a white gel pen. This is a mandatory one to have, at least for me. This is a Sakura Jelly Roll. I love these things. And then I didn't actually, like, if I wanted to take these color pencils out, I could, because I got this beast, and it's by Pentel, and it's their Multi 8 PH 802. It says for checking use. I don't know what that means, but it's like color pencils, basically. There's like all sorts of colors. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, it says multi 8, so there's 8 color pencil colors in here, and they're actually pretty good. And it comes with refills. I'll try to link that in the bottom, but I love this in case you don't want to take like color pencils and you just want some color, to have something like that in like a little pen. And basically the way you change the color is like, say you want red, you go to red, and then you go and extract red. There's your red color pencil, and then you return it, and then you can go to blue or whatever, and then you extract, and there's your blue color pencil. So I think this is fantastic, to be honest. It's one of my favorite things that I've gotten. I think I got this last year, and I love it. And this is Erin Condren little, that's the brand. I don't know. I found it on Amazon. They have different like styles and whatever. But I like this. It's kind of soft. And again, I showed you it could fit in a sketchbook. So, and you might be wondering like, hey, where are your watercolors in your portable pencil case thingy, right? Good question. These are all my palettes, and I will kind of walk through what they are all for. So the one that is normally in that little pencil kit that I just showed is this one, and these are all like made, well, this little palette is Pocket Palette by Art Toolkit. I love this thing. It's like a business card holder. I think you can probably make it yourself by getting something like this, like a business card holder on Amazon, but then like you'd have to get like the little magnetic bottom. I think my camera just moved again. You'd have to get the little magnetic bottom, which kind of sucks, and then you'd have to get the pans and all that stuff, so it was just easier to buy it on their site. Again, I'm not sponsored, so if you don't want to do that, you can definitely make your own. And I'll show you how I did that with another one. So these are the colors that I have in there. This is for my little on-the-go thing. So I have ultramarine. I think this is like a sap green, quinacridone rose, gamboge yellow. This is a red, but I don't remember the name of the color. This is like a scarlet or a maroon, like a deeper, it's more like a brownish red. Then this is a manganese blue hue, which is like for skies and things like that. This is a jadeite green. Again, this is all Daniel Smith. This is India yellow. Again, this is a cooler yellow. This is a warmer yellow here. And then this is an amethyst. And this one has like a little sparkle to it when you put it on paper. So that's my little palette. And again, it's dirty because I was testing it. And this one is still drying, so I'm going to put it to the side to fully dry. This is also by Art Toolkit. Again, it comes empty. You can buy it in various different ways. You can buy just the case. You can buy the case with the inserts. or you could buy them separately and build your own. So it's really like up to the user, but this is their folio palette. So this is the larger one. Now, they just had like I don't know if they still have it. I'll link their website on the bottom, but they had um, basically like they're selling like not their A grade palettes. They might be like B grade or C grade palettes that like are maybe like dinged or maybe like something's wrong with them. But normally I think it's like $50 for a palette, or maybe a little bit less if you buy it empty. Um, but this one was 17 bucks, and it was listed like as like one of their non A grades. But honestly, when I got it, there was nothing wrong with it. This little hinge was like maybe like a little bit stuck, but it doesn't really matter to me because like I just pulled it a little bit and it was fine. So there's no marks on it. It looks brand new. So I'm like, okay, I don't know why you're selling it for that low, but kudos. And then the pans that are inside, again, I can link that. So I just got basically this mixing thing like separately, and these inserts, like these little like pans, I bought like empty makeup pans on Amazon, and they're metal, so they'll stick onto the magnet underneath. And there is a magnet underneath that comes with this art toolkit. So I just kind of made that myself, like with obviously having the art toolkit shell, the case, the actual palette. Hopefully this camera doesn't fall apart. And then yeah, so and then this is my like when I want to go out like plein air painting, but I'll have like maybe my backpack with me or something like that, like a larger one, maybe with a larger sketchbook. So I'll take this one with me, which is kind of nice, and it's still super portable. Like I could take this one on with my other pencil case, the one I just shared, also because it's very thin, so it does like actually fit. So that one's nice. And again, I have a similar portfolio of colors in there than like the other one. And last but not least is a non-art toolkit palette. This one is also portable if you wanted it to be. It's a little bit thicker. It's a bit on the thicker side. But again, this was an empty makeup palette. And I got it on Amazon. Again, my colors are getting unstuck down here. But same thing, I got it on Amazon. And it actually came with the pans. I'm trying to take it out. It is actually magnetized. Just to show you, like the magnet on the bottom is pretty strong. So I'm assuming Art Toolkit uses something similar. And it actually came with these pans, like all of these. And I think most of these, maybe not all of them. So it came with everything. There's a mirror back here, which I just took out and glued in my like color swatch thingy. So I have 3 mixing pans here and pretty large set of colors that I was able to put in. So like these, but like large pans. And again, I use this one mostly like when I'm at home. Similar colors, but I have a few more in here than I do in my like smaller set. Again, these are all Daniel Smith. And these are the colors that I have in there. So it is absolutely portable if you wanted it to be. So I thought I'd just share that with you guys. And this is my other dilemma. I shared which sketchbook I kind of want to do, which was the Moleskine, the regular Moleskine without, you know, just the sketching one, not a watercolor designated one. But I do have some other ones that are actually like for watercolors. So I was testing also some colors. This is a Moleskine watercolor sketchbook. Again, I think this is cold press paper. Cold press paper usually tends to have more texture. I'm generally not the biggest fan of it, but I have used these in the past and I do like them. But the paper quality is kind of thin and flimsy, to be honest, and it does buckle. Like you could see here, like this one's like almost kind of buckled, and I was just doing some like heavy wash testing in the back. So it's not bad, but I don't know if I want to go with that. Like this might be one that I just keep because, I don't know, like maybe when I get to a point where I run out of blank sketchbooks, maybe I'll use this one. I like it, but it's not my fave. I got this one today, also found it on Amazon. This was called, this is called Lightwish. Again, that's the name of the company, and I found it on Amazon. I think it's a Chinese brand, probably. But in terms of the quality of the paper, it's a lot better than Moleskine. And it has perforated edges. This reminds me of the old Moleskine sketchbooks that actually did have perforated edges, like maybe they're smaller watercolor sketchbook. But this is also hot press paper, so it's very smooth. It's a lot better, like if you want to also draw, use your color pencils or pens in these sketchbooks versus just using your watercolors. And I did some swatching in the back, and it actually does pretty good. Like, there was no buckling. It takes water pretty well. Again, this is just like ugly color swatching, but whatever. This was pencil. So yeah, it's not bad. I actually like this. So I'm thinking that I might go with this, or I might just take this with me, like if I go on a trip or something, and the other one. I just like something to have in the backpack. And it's smaller than a Moleskine, like just slightly shorter. Like it's not necessarily like a huge difference, but somewhat of a difference. But that's kind of my dilemma right now, is what's if I'm gonna keep the other sketchbook or go with this one. It's getting nice outside, finally. What a change. What a change from the last couple of weeks. I think the last, might actually just be this video too that I'll post. I usually started it off both in February and March and January with a walk outside, and you probably see me like in a jacket, and it's really cold. But today is 70 degrees. As you can see, it is sunny. Not that bad. There's still a little bit of cloud coverage, but I am outside in the same place where I usually am, like out for walks, except I am sitting bare feet on the grass, just connecting with nature. And you can hear the birds around. They're getting loud, and it just feels like spring. It's really nice. So I think I like this, and I know that I like this weather. Winter was a bit rough. It was long. There was definitely a bit of seasonal depression there too, a little bit of art block to go along with it. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to soak in the sun. It's 70 degrees today, so it's just about perfect. Yeah, yesterday we had like a really, really hot day. For this time, it was about 83 degrees, something like that. So, yeah, it was kind of bizarre, but today's really nice. So I'm just kind of chilling. I have my sketchbook out too, so maybe I'll do some doodling. It is such a lovely day, and it's nice to see color return back to nature. See, I got my feet in the grass. I got my sketchbook, and then I got my shoes over there, my socks, and my headphones, because I didn't bring the case with me, so they're just chilling in there. So I think we might just do some doodling. And I feel like I'm starting every single vlog out with this same thing. I look like shit, but it's okay. It's actually kind of dark out, but I wanted to share what's behind me, and that's these beautiful flowers that are already bloomed. But as you can tell, the other day, the last clip you saw was me just kind of hanging out outside in the sun, and that's not the case today. Right now it's about 45, 50, and it's dark. I don't even know if you could see. Yeah, the moon's out. So hopefully this is not too dark. But this camera does have a low light setting, so yeah, I think it should be okay. One of the other reasons I wanted to come out, and I came out a little bit too late, and it's also cold, is to do some sketching. And I just have a very minimal setup today, which is just my sketchbook and a color pencil. So I did do some sketching, but like standing up and very, very minimal. I do want to draw this church just like quickly because right behind me is the church, and it just sits on a really beautiful ground in general, and it's very peaceful here, so I might just chill here and draw for a second. There's some seats back here. Technically this is April 1st, so maybe just a sneak peek into what I hope to put in the next vlog. I don't know, but I did make it out for the first day of Plein April, and that was just to draw outside, sketch, even though it was pretty late, close to 8 p.m. But this is what I got. And I even wrote a little poem. It basically came from a little bit of frustration today in general. It's a long story, just wasn't, I don't know, felt a bit angry today. It happens. That's just life. It's ups and downs, and you have to accept everything that comes along with being human. So here goes the poem. Today anger flows through the rivers of life, carrying debris of ego and frustration, a reflection of our human existence filled with loneliness and trepidation. Yet the evening birdsong brings a healing melody. The trees dance, echoing her with each revolution. My dear ones, search within for all that's missing, for divine love is the only real absolution. So, we finally reached the end of this very, very long video. If you hung out until the end and watched the whole thing, you are really a trooper, because I'm not even sure I could do it, and I filmed it. So, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you again in the next one, hopefully next month. Thanks all. Bye.